Oh, I remember everything.
Shizuko Braden was 18 when World War II hit its deadliest point in Japan. She grew up in the Osaka region of Japan. She remembers bombs falling from the sky and men shooting from planes. Braden was never hurt.
I was lucky.
And she lived more than 200 miles away from Hiroshima, but remembers when the atomic bomb dropped.
Every standing up, she just like that. Lightning.
The lightning she saw far away wasn't lightning.
Then next thing I see the Hiroshima was cracking. People there would die.
Braden is now almost 94 years old. She moved to the U.S. with her husband, an American soldier, in the 50s. Her daughter has to write things down to communicate since she's hard of hearing, but her memories are sharp.
75 years. Then still I can remember.
Braden has memorabilia from Japan across her Maryville home. Pictures of her and her late husband. Her daughter says Braden tries not to remember a lot of the scary moments.
Don't want to think about it.
It's something Braden would rather forget, but she's happy to share the stories cemented in her mind.
That's like a movie.
Just imagine.
Tomorrow will mark the 75th anniversary of the atomic bomb attack on Nagasaki. A week later, Japan would officially surrender to end the Second World War. Today, a woman who dedicated her life to getting inmates second chances was honored for her life's work. 1 year ago today, Deborah Johnson was murdered in a home out in West Tennessee during an inmate's escape. This afternoon, the Tennessee Prison for Women was renamed after her. Johnson raised her family here in Nashville while working for the prison, and her son says it's hard to think of a more fitting way to honor her life.
I used to have to come over here at 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, knock on the door and tell her to come home because she was just so into this and so into rehabilitation of everyone, the staff, the inmates especially, getting programs, like just tirelessly working to make sure that these inmates had an opportunity when they left here that they wouldn't come back here.
Police say Curtis Watson broke into Johnson's home around 8 in the morning and killed her. Her son describes it as a day that was just hard to believe, something they still are recovering from to this day.
How life just fell apart. Like, we lived in a bubble. Our house is about a few miles away from here. Our commute, this is our community. I went to preschool down the street. And this is all we know. So to see this happen, and we've always been in a bubble, it just was crazy. It was just insane and still hard to get our mind around, but slowly but surely we accepting the fact and just finding ways to honor her name.
Right.
In all, Johnson spent 38 years serving in the correctional system. The list just keeps growing of things teachers and students will have to adapt to when returning to school. That includes gaining trust inside the classroom, which will be a challenge with masks. Justin Beasley shows us a brand new school supply that could be a big help for schools in Williamson County.
Well, the good news is for the first and second graders in Williamson County, they're back in the classroom today. The bad news is, though, new students have no clue what their new teachers look like with the new mask mandate. However, the fine folks here at Brentwood Library are making face buttons for teachers only to help keep the students as comfortable as possible.
So I've had a button maker for like my whole life. Since it's hard to recognize people with masks on, and especially hard for little kids to meet someone new, we thought it would be a good idea to make teacher buttons, and the teachers have loved the idea. And I started it myself and kind of was doing teachers one at a time, and then it grew, and we decided I brought the idea to the library, and our schools committee picked it up. And now we're doing entire schools.
I think they'll help tremendously, especially for the smaller children. Maybe walking into a classroom, not knowing very many friends, everyone has their mask on, but seeing that friendly, smiling face on the button will definitely go a long way to making those kids feel comfortable.
My son, who is 13, has been helping me at home making the buttons. And he even said one night when we had him out on the table, he said, "These teachers have great smiles." So just seeing a smiling face is a calming thing, I would imagine, to students who are in a scary, scary time.
More than 500 face buttons will be distributed by the end of this project, and the best thing, it's all free thanks to the good folks at the Brentwood Library.
Wow.
In Brentwood, I'm Justin Beasley, News 4 Nashville.
They're doing a good thing. They're doing a real good thing. All schools need to catch on to that.